everyone. Today we're going to be going through skill set number 5. Now that you know how to reconnect, to invite, to do your social media strategy, and also to share your story as well as your tour, it's time to connect that all together with your follow-ups, because the fortune is truly in the follow-ups. It's something that a lot of people don't do, and that leaves a lot of potential on the table, because the fortune is truly there, because you need to contact people 5 to 8 times before they make a decision, and they also need to have usually about 5 exposures. So that's why it's also super important to go from event to event to event. I'm going to make that a lot easier for you by doing an event every single Tuesday night. So every Tuesday night, I'm going to be live at 7 p.m. with a different presentation. So one week I'm going to do the sprays, the next week the essential oils, the following week the shampoos and conditioners made with hemp. So that way that it's always going to be rotating and not the same presentation, because some people are going to need more than one exposure and I don't want them to hear the same presentation multiple times. And also there's always a monthly event that's done with the whole team, which is super fun. Usually it's Shannon Moss who is hosting those. She is amazing. This month we're having one for Valentine's Day on the 14th. So there's a post on our group where you just have to put sweet underneath, and she's going to add you to the team group about that event. I'll actually tag you all in that post just to make it easier for you. And that's another great way of exposure. So keep inviting from week to week and never let that stop. Another thing that's really important is having a follow-up strategy, because if you just say, I'm going to follow up, you may forget, somebody may fall out of the loop. There's so many things that can happen. So I feel it's the most important strategy to have is your follow-up strategy. Personally, what I do is I do my follow-ups all on the same day. Some people like to be more specific and be exact on their dates. So say 7 days after the first exposure, I'm going to follow up. Personally, I'm not big on that technique just because I'm forgetful and I find it difficult. So what I do is I choose a day of the week and I do all my follow-ups on that day. Everybody who I expose throughout my week, I make a note in my notebook, and then I put them into my follow-up list. And that list should be growing every single week, because if you're following the system for success, you should be talking to 2 people a day, and those 2 people a day should all be going into your follow-ups. So that's a minimum of 5 days a week. So that should be 10 new people going into your follow-up list every single week. And if that's really happening, your list is going to grow and grow and grow. That follow-up list is going to be where your moneymaker is. What I always do is I write my list down of who I need to follow up with, and I do check marks. Every follow-up is a check. So once we have a first follow-up, I do a little check mark. And then once I've got them on an event and they've had their first exposures, then I put a little heart so that I know exactly what's going on with each person. And if there's something specific they shared with me that I would like to come back on, so if I know they're interested in hair care, I might put a little note, hair care, next to their name. So that way there I know. And every single Wednesday I come back to this page and I do all my follow-ups. And there is a reason why I choose Wednesdays. You can choose any day, but I do recommend that you make it as close as possible to the cutout date of our pre-enrollee tour. So when people are taking your tour, they're going directly onto our team line as pre-enrollees. And what happens there is they reward those who take action. So when somebody purchases a set, they actually jump over the pre-enrollees who don't purchase a set, and they also save their position. So all the people that fall on their team will stay there, and they can possibly skip others just by purchasing their kit. So that's a really great strategy. I don't want to focus too much on the technical side of it. I'm going to keep it simple and say it's the best possible way to create urgency and grow your team as fast as possible. So when you're using that pre-enrollee tour, it's going to make a huge difference. So I have 2 sections personally for my follow-ups. I have my pre-enrollees, which I have all listed in my back office, but those ones will only hold for 60 days. So make sure to export your contacts every single 60 days. And what I do with those is I follow up a little differently. I have some specific scripts that I actually kept from a GoPro training that I found have worked really great for me in the past, because if they're in the pre-enrollee system, they've already got some knowledge. And usually once I get them in the pre-enrollee, right away I get them on a presentation after. So most people in my pre-enrollee tour have already had a minimum of 2 exposures, and I would recommend that you do the same. So when I come in with a follow-up, and I'm going to follow up like this more with the people who have really shown me interest and who are on the fence. This is for your right on the fence, the people who are leaning on the side to side and don't know exactly where they're going yet. So I'm going to contact them with something like this. Hey, how are you? I know the timing may not be perfect, but I have a deal you won't be able to refuse. I have several people about to sign up, and I thought I would place you all in the same area of the binary so you can benefit from them. Would you be open to that? So that way there, it gives them a really great offer that they can't refuse. Another one could be, I just got off the phone with someone and they're super smart, super sharp, and they're just about to get started. I am so excited about what they're going to do. They're going to do some big things. And I thought of you. So if you sign up right before they do, this person will actually be part of your team and help get things going for you as fast as possible. So that's a great way to put a little bit of urgency to your pre-enrollee. If it's for an inviting and contacting more in the early stages of follow-up, use the contact and inviting scripts that we've got above in the other videos, and also use some of Sonia's warm market scripts. Those scripts are absolutely amazing, and the cold market ones are great as well. I believe I tagged you all underneath the scripts. So those are tools that you can use to help do your follow-ups as well. Follow-ups don't have to be specific as long as they're done. Sometimes if you don't want to do a direct invitation, you can follow up with something simple as, hi, how are you? And just open that line of conversation if it's gotten closed. The goal is not to let it close, but I know it's impossible to keep the line of conversation going 100% of the time. So that way there, if you're touching bases with them at least once a week, because I do touch bases with every single person on my list once a week, and I put check marks to how many times I've touched bases with them. And if there's too many check marks next to their name, then what I'll do is stop following up on a weekly basis and maybe go to every second week or every month and change them to a different part of my list. So I think that there is a great strategy for your follow-up. So when you talk to people, start building that follow-up list and start working on that. I'm here to help you every step of the way through your follow-ups. I know this is a step in a process that's a little bit more complicated and a little bit more advanced in your business, but I want to show you that right from the beginning because I want to help you close. And if you have someone who's on the fence and you want to do another exposure, another amazing exposure is a three-way call. So if they've taken the tour, they've watched the presentation, and they can't really make a decision, but they're still watching, that means they're probably interested, because if they're still watching, that's a good sign. Once you've got somebody on the fourth and fifth exposure, your percentages are going to go way up because they care, they're interested. They want to watch 4 presentations if they weren't. Book a three-way call. Get them on the phone with me. I'm going to help you close that. It's a really great way to connect. You just make the introduction and then you let me do the heavy lifting so I can help you close and grow your team as fast as possible. Because I want you all to know that I'm here to help you every step of the way. I don't want you to think that to be shy to ask me any questions or for help. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I love to do. I love helping, and I want to help you all achieve success as fast as possible and help you grow your team so we can help you hit some rank advancement bonuses and get there. Because on the next training, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get you to your first rank and how to get you binary qualified so you can start getting paid on that team of people that we're going to help you bring in. I'm very excited for your future and your success and everything that's to come, and I look forward to our next video. We'll see you tomorrow.